Okay, today we're going to talk as an overview of how Lightroom works, where everything is, and just the basics of getting you started with working with this awesome program. The first thing you want to know is that Lightroom has different modules. That's what they call each of these tabs up here. And each of them serve their own purpose. So this is the library module. This basically lets you see all of the images that you have in your library, and it lets you sort them, organize them, it lets you tag them and create keywords, and then lets you filter by those keywords. It also lets you see data that's attached to the photos. So you'll notice over here when I click on this photo, if I took it with a digital camera, it gives you the ISO, the focal length of the lens that I used, the aperture, and the shutter speed. Built into this and buried within this also is the data that is what camera it was shot with. Up here is my filters, and this allows me to filter by text, by attribute, by metadata. So this is where you find all of that camera information. So you literally can filter by cameras. I can say I want to see any image that I shot with my Canon 5D Mark II, and I click on that, and any image in my whole library is going to pop up that was shot with that camera. I can sort by lenses. You can see different lenses that I have and what date they were taken. It's really powerful for organizing your photos in a realistic way so that you can go through and do that. So I'm gonna hit none here, and so that I could just see all the photos that I want. And over here on the library is your folders, and this is where we work with organizing our files. Now our files are not here; they're actually on the iDrive, but this is where you get to see it. You can look at your folder, your Photo2 folder. You can right-click on it, and you can add a folder inside of that folder. You can import to this folder. You could rename, you could remove the folder, you can hide a parent or show a parent folder. So if I hit show parent folder, it's going to show the folder that this one is inside of. And so it just, so you can see period 4 right here. So it's a really nice way to just see everything you got, where it's located, and organize it. The next module is called the Develop module. When I click on it, you got to give the computer a little bit of time to work. But when I click on it, this is the module for editing my photos. So if this is the photo that I want to edit, I can go over here and I have all of these edits and all these possibilities with this photo. The first tab is called Basic. You want to click on these down arrows to open them up. And then I like to click on the down arrow again to hide it when I go to a new one, just so that I'm not seeing too many options and getting freaked out with everything that I have to do. Under the Basic tab, it lets you change the temperature of the white light. This is called color temperature. We're going to learn a lot about this when we get to color photography. It lets you adjust the exposure, the contrast. It lets you adjust locally certain values. So I can grab the highlights and say I want the highlights brighter. I want the shadows darker. I want the whites up. I want the blacks down. And you can see just from here that I have a totally different look. Now the neat thing about Lightroom is that you work completely non-destructively to these files. It didn't actually change the file that's located on the iDrive. What it did was it just took and referenced that file and added these adjustments to it. What's nice is that I can save these adjustments to apply to another photo, or I can save these adjustments and try something different. So to do that, I'm going to right-click on this photo down here on my browser, and I'm going to create a virtual copy of this image right here. by doing that, it's going to make a second copy without actually affecting the image on disk. So the first one that I had, this image 1 of 2, I'm going to go over here and hit reset. And when I do that, and I wait for the computer to actually work, I now have 2 pictures, 2 totally different looks of the same photo without actually saving anything. It's really all it's doing is it's applying a different set of adjustments to these 2 different photos. I urge you guys when you're in here to play with anything and everything that you see. You cannot mess up a photo at all, because all you have to do is hit the reset button and you're done. Now, let's say I like all the adjustments that I created on this photo and I want to apply them to something else. You can go over here and I can hit this button called copy. And what it does is it pulls up this copy settings dialog and lets me choose what I want to copy. I don't want to copy crop, but I want to copy all of these basic settings. So exposure, white balance, contrast, highlights, shadows. If I go over here, this is basic tone: exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, white clipping, black clipping. White balance I want to do. By copying all of these, I can then go to another photo anywhere in my picture and I can hit paste, and it's going to paste those same settings that I had and apply it to another photo. Now, I don't like that on this particular photo, so I can just hit reset and it goes back and it's as if nothing happened. So it's really powerful what you can do. And as we get further into these different tabs, I'll explain what each of them does, but we're going to do that on a different video to keep this one, I want to keep this video under 8 minutes here. Over here is something called presets. These are preset adjustments that allow you to change your photos just by clicking on one button, and the whole photo will change if you give the computer a second to work. It'll change the whole photo. You also can get a preview of what those look like up here in this area. So if you just hover over with your mouse on some of these, you can get a totally different look to the photo just with one click, which is really neat. You all are able to create adjustment presets of your own, again by hitting this create a preset and then saying what do you want the preset to include. As far as what I've done over here, you click on the options that you want to select and then you create the preset, and it makes this copy of all of these adjustments you've made over here to apply to whatever photo you want whenever you want. It's a really powerful tool. Map I don't use at all, but this lets you geotag where your photos were from. It also lets you control and filter by where those photos are from. Book is for creating books. Slideshow is for creating slideshows. Print we will use. So if we go to the print module, this will help us create prints of multiple images if that's what we want to do. I have multiple different ways of printing, and I'll be teaching you guys those as the semester goes along. Web is for exporting your photos in a version that's going to be compatible with the internet, but we're not going to use those. We're going to focus on our library for organizing, our develop for adjusting, our print for printing, and if you want to find out more about all of these other ones, you can just look it up online. So that's it. Overview of Lightroom. Done.